Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show. Tune in for a vibrant mix of fashion, finance, and life's essential foundations. Join us for expert interviews, insightful discussions, and empowering insights to elevate your lifestyle. From fashion trends to financial tips and personal growth strategies, we've got you covered. So grab your headphones and get ready to be inspired. Tune in now to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show and embark on this exciting journey with us.
All right, welcome back to the Fabulous Lifestyle. And we are with our guests, Eric Campbell and Daryl Johnson. And in our last segment, we were talking about how people should consider karate as part of their lifestyle, right?
Yep.
And so, Eric, I wanted to kind of go more in terms of what you do as a business strategist.
Okay.
And I know that you spoke at the Fire Up Live, and what I learned from it is you've done a lot of like retirement, will, trust, things like that. So can you share a little bit more of why you do this and what people should know about it that is really important for them to consider?
Yeah. Again, when it comes to strategy, I really think it's, kind of like reverse engineering, kind of like how you want to finish your life. And a lot of people just go out and they try to like go make a few bucks and they're like, oh no, what do I do next? So I'm always teaching people, and I put this little book together. It's right here, as you can see.
Yeah.
Trust, Wills, and Estate Planning Made Easy.
Okay.
I put that together to kind of help people start with the end in mind. That's what I always share with Dr. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He talked about that. So when we think about what do we want with what we make, it makes business easier. So that's what the first strategy is, really kind of figuring out, what do I want to do when I become rich and famous? Or what do I want to do if I make that $1 million? And then how am I going to protect it? A lot of people don't know how to do that. They're just out there hustling, and all of a sudden they're 65 years old and they're like broke. And that is the most dismal way to live your life. So we're always teaching people on how to, okay, let's plan. Okay, if you're in business, well, then we start thinking about it. Okay, well, what do you want to do with that money? Do you just want to spend it on the next Lamborghini, or do you want to put it into an investment portfolio? Do you want to strategize your life to be successful? However, it is important to determine what is success for you, because everyone wants to be someone else. But I say, stop. Focus on you. What's success for you, Marie? And what's success for Daryl? And what's success for me? 3 different things. And most people never get clear on that.
So do you help them kind of focus on what is success for them? I mean, are you really like coaching too?
Well,
at the same time?
See, a lot of times that I look at business, like we're always coaching. We're always coaching our clients into something, because we're encouraging them to buy a service or a product, jump in and go through a certification. We're coaching them. We're teaching them. So it's the same way. We're always like, hey, well, how do you want to, I always use this as a fun thing. I go, what do you want to be when you grow up? And people are like, what do you mean? I'm like 40 years old or something like that. I'm like, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Mm-hmm. And when people start thinking about it, it really kind of allows them to start getting clear. Clarity is essential, because if you confuse, you'll lose. And most people don't understand that. And how many times you've walked into someone that says they're confused, and you're like, that means they have no really clear strategy. So as a strategist, as a coach, I'm like, let's get clear. Some of the 3 things that I always help people start with clarity is, one is like, let's do a Myers-Briggs test. Like, and we've heard about that, right?
Yes.
Take your Myers-Briggs test. And the people are like, why do I want to do a Myers-Briggs test? I go, well, let's find your baseline operating system. Then we do another thing called strength finders. What is your top themes in life? If you don't know how good you are, what's your top talents?
So this is not just helping them with the trust and wills. You're also trying to do some sort of a personal development. Because you're helping them define who they are, and then figure out really exactly how they can focus on identifying the success.
Correct.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, well, because what that does, it makes it easier for me to help them find the right trust, the right business, to help them. Because now we know how they're thinking. Now I can communicate with them better. Even with students in martial arts, I have them to do the same thing. And they're like, well, why am I doing this, Eric? I go, because I want to understand how you're thinking so I can communicate better.
Okay.
And that is so essential. And the final test is enneagrams. Like, those 3 baseline tests can give you an overarching theme of who you are. Once you figure out who you are, the money comes easy. And that is the biggest thing that I share with all this stuff that I teach and walk them through. And I'm talking to someone that makes $1 billion a year to someone that makes $100 a year. It's the same test.
I like that. I mean, that's the title of my book too. Everybody knows.
you are.
It says, "Who do you think you are?" Right?
Right, yeah. I mean, and those are just things that help people, because like when you help people like figure themselves out, figure out what they want to do, it makes earning money easy for anyone that's an entrepreneur.
Okay. Well, that is really amazing what you do for people. I didn't realize that you are covering all of those areas of life when they're working with you. So that is really good to know. Now, Daryl, in regards to your business, what is your strategy and how you're developing it?
I've spent over 35 years teaching self-defense and fitness in brick and mortar facilities. And I want to go back to a point that Eric talked about in the first segment, is how courageous it is for someone to actually step onto the mat for the first time. Yeah. And that becomes a real obstacle. And for the last 4 or 5 years, I've dedicated myself to getting outside the martial arts and fitness world, where all the conventions and the workshops and more entrepreneurial. And here's what I found. What I found is I meet a lot of people who are, maybe they're doing okay with their job or their career, but they are missing something. They come to me like, wow, I wish I had your confidence. I wish I had this presence. And this is the word I go back to. Yep. So what I've been doing is putting together coaching where, yes, self-defense is a part of what I do, but also the fitness part, because Americans are horribly out of shape, in general speaking, and also the mindset to overcome adversity, which you get through training. If you get into a school, whether it's jiu-jitsu or Krav Maga or karate, and you get through it, you're going to develop the skill sets. But most people will not go into that for fear or geographical limitations. Yeah. So now I do a lot of coaching remotely, but it's not just, okay, we're doing self-defense. It's going to be self-defense. Let's get you in shape. Here's a program. Let's make sure that you have the mental skills to overcome adversity, because so many people fall into depression because, as Eric mentioned earlier, many people have never really faced challenges, like real challenges. Yeah. Like they've had a rough day at work, but they've never been like, wow, I've got laid off. Wow, I just got divorced. Wow, my kid needs a special medical intervention that I wasn't prepared for. And that kind of mental adversity can really break people if they aren't prepared for it. So the coaching I do now it's fitness, it's self-protection, it's also a mindset to overcome those adversity, become a stronger version. And the tagline, my coaching program is called Harder to Kill, but it's happier, healthier, harder to kill. So I want people to be, when I think about America, I think about pioneer Americans who, they were on the prairie. They didn't know if they're going to live through the winter. Yeah. They were able to overcome adversity. They had diseases to go through, and we have a cushy life in America now.
Okay.
I mean, so I want to dig into that entrepreneurial spirit, that fire within everybody, so they can become the best person they can be and have the strength and ability to overcome whatever might come their way. And that will bring them more peace. But it's peace through strength, not peace through lack of challenge. If that makes sense.
Wow, that is so cool. I mean, while you're talking, while I'm listening to you, I'm like imagining these things that we could do an event, just martial arts, and really kind of help people understand the value of that and what it does to your other parts of your life, business and personal. It's just really amazing. Well, I see that you also have a hat here, and it looks like, yes, did we talk about pink today?
I mentioned passing, but yes. Well, I figured, we do our own merchandising for our company, and also I'll do for other companies too. But I figured, I'd bring in a hat, and I figured pink would be good, and I guessed right.
Oh,
I guessed right.
So cool. So, how did you guys know that? I mean, really, I like the hat.
Yeah, well, this is yours.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, of course.
Can I show it to everybody? Okay. So this is how it looks. You guys? Nice. All right. This is so nice. So thank you so much, Daryl. It says Krav Maga.
With the proper pronunciation and translation.
There's like a noun. Oh, okay. Translation, contact, combat. Mm-hmm. That's what it says. All right. Well, thank you so much for this. Well, I guess Fabulous Lifestyle really honors the pink, color pink today.
I like it.
And all right. Well, so I'm thinking, because martial arts is a good foundation for creating the personal development and business strategy. Yep. Now, how do you connect with the people that you want to work with?
Well, a lot of times with people that I connect with is just at different events and stuff. Like I talk to them, I see how they're doing, and see if they're a good fit. And then one of the things that my business partner and we just finally decided to bring back is a thing called the Jiu-Jitsu ministry. It's where people can come down on a Wednesday evening, and this is families, kids, whoever, anyone that wants to learn the art of jiu-jitsu, they can come and meet us up at the Torrey Pines Church, and we have mats out there where they can come join us, and I will walk them through the basic foundations of jiu-jitsu. And it's open to anyone. It's free, and the only thing is we ask is for a donation if you want to make, and if you don't have to. It doesn't matter. And the reason is that we know how important it is to bring people together and overcome fear. I mean, and that is one of the things. And I put together a book with another black belt buddy of mine. It's called, Jiu-Jitsu Unlocked. It's the ultimate beginner guide to jiu-jitsu. And that's going to go live on December 1st. And you can get a copy. I can show you a picture if you want to see a copy of that.
Okay, yes, please.
Yeah, I have it here. We finally decided on the design. I think it's pretty elegant. Like, here, I can show you there. You can see it.
All right. Well, here, okay, so you can see it right here. Jiu-Jitsu Unlocked.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's how you bring people in together. And one thing that I think Daryl can concur with is when you meet people at these different things, it breaks down a lot of different walls. You're able to get closer to them. And as you get closer to them, you can decide whether you want to do business with them. And I've picked up a lot of clients over the years just by sparring with them. Because they're like, wow, you're tough enough for me to be here. Now I can trust you with my trust. I can trust you with my assets. I can trust you if I have a business idea that I need to have someone that I can talk to. Because what you've done, you've bridged that gap of trust. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. And it's probably the most authentic thing that I've seen with people when we've done that.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, well, we're ready for another commercial break here. And please don't go away. Stay with us. We have Eric Campbell and Daryl Johnson here at the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show.
Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show, where we talk about food, fashion, finance, and foundations of life. We are live on KCAA Radio Broadcasting Network. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports. We are sponsored by Sheltered Studios, Fire Connect, and Building Solid Foundation.